Man, what's up, world? It's your boy, File Sharpton again, reporting live from the Bamboozle Again News Network. And I just be coming with these passing thoughts and epiphanies, right? And I was just thinking about the time I seen that movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, right? And that was very moving. I think that was a very well done movie. Especially that part of the movie where I think he had got out and he knew his life was at risk. He went to the other side or the other, organization, and they actually gave him some money to get out of Dodge. When initially he had they were leery of him, to say the least. But after all the work he had put in, he had won them over by his efforts, right? So they gave him some money to, get lost or, go on a hide because they know the police wanted to, get jiggy with him. So he comes back to home base. Everybody's real somber about, where they're going to hide him or what they're going to do. And looks like things are bleak and over with. And then he reminds the people or his family, in the organization, it's about the people. He start cheering everybody up. Man, everything all right. And the money that the other organization that gave him to relocate or do whatever he thought was in his best interest, he gave it to his treasurer and told him, build the clinic. Knowing that his life was in peril. He was thinking more of the people and the initiative and the mission than his own safety. That was powerful. After I seen that scene, that part of the movie, I went outside. Now I live in a rural kind of area. And it was, it's probably late night. And I went outside, walked around the circle and charged up like Goku. It was so powerful, right? And then I was just thinking, among color folks, there's always the Judas. There's always the sellout. It never fails. But there are no Judases I guess they would be considered whistleblowers for the bamboozler. But for those who attempt to do anything great, even I'm talking about in your personal life, there's always going to be a Judas. And they're the people closest to you. They may have known you the longest. You may have had various, quote unquote, good and bad experiences with them. Just like life stuff, you know what I'm saying? That they were with you through good times, bad times, but y'all went through it together. These are typically the Judas goat. And for those of us who, ascribe to a chosen one's philosophy, right? One of the traits, now I guess everybody to some degree goes through betrayal. However, people who are chosen, and this has been a common theme in my life, have went through repeated and numerous betrayals by those you love the most and probably did the most for, genuinely. That's what I think is one of the catalysts for us having gone through repeated experiences like that to drive us into more of an isolation, more of a seeking or greater desire to seek the Creator based on the hurt and pain of the world. You know what I mean? And ultimately, after a period of time, and you'll deal with your various human emotions, out of those circumstances should make you better. It should make you, it shouldn't turn you, like with me, okay, I'm betrayed. And I've done people wrong, but I've never betrayed anybody. You know how they say those who maybe, let's say, were molested when they're younger have a greater propensity to molest others when they get older, and then they'll do what was done to them to other people. Typically, a quote-unquote chosen person may have been betrayed 1,000 times, but it might go across your mind out of emotion, but to actually do it, you just can't betray nobody. You just can't. It's not in you. And then I was thinking about, like, what would be the reasoning or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I'm kind of biased because I think of stuff like how I would do it if I was in that situation. But especially now, and I haven't done it before, but especially now, typically, just like with, the original Judas, he got offered the 30 pieces of silver. What seems to be happening, and I'm not saying this is in reference to anybody, but these outside organizations or shadowy groups will look at, and I can do this. That's why I'm not real big on social groupings unless everybody's like-minded, not for the purposes of like superficiality or my value is tied into the group I hang with, because all that be fool's gold if you ask me. But I can do this now with the eyeballs I got. I can look at a social grouping, and if I wanted to, I could make them all crash into each other, because I know there's some underlying jealousy somewhere. And what I'll do, and what I think these other organizations or secret groups or surveillance thingies or whatever you want to call them do, is they look at the individuals in the group, and then they perceive where your true desire is. So, okay, I'll put it on me, right? So I'm in a social grouping, whatever, right? And I get approached by whoever, whether they send an email online, and based on what I've said on Facebook, like, hey, I think I can help you move to Liberia. I can help you establish a business, right? Darn, that sounds great. Granted, I started the Bamboozle Again News Network, so the fact that somebody wants to help me actually do something that I don't know, just out of nowhere, I'm going to be very leery of that. But just for inquisitive purpose, let me hear them out. And I already know, because I'm very dug in about what I'm going to do and not going to do. But just for, as they say, shits and giggles, let me see what they're talking about so I can trip off of them. So they've already proceeded. So they get, of course, they give you the rundown or the selling point. They got to sell it to you. I'll get you some land, your own house, you know what I'm saying? Woo-da-woo, you know what I'm saying? Woo-da-woo. It's in line with where you at with it, da-da-da. Okay, yeah, I'm nodding my head. In the back of my mind, I know they're coming with what I got to do. So why would you do, what can I offer you that would benefit you for you to give me this head? Oh, man, we just need you to get some intel on your homeboy, Tyrone. We see he's doing X, Y, Z, and, we don't think it's good for America, you know what I'm saying? And we just need you, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do nothing super crazy, you know what I'm saying? Just tell us what he up to, you know what I'm saying? Tell us how he think, you know what I'm saying? Just give a progress report every 30 days. No, I ain't gonna be able to do that. And then what I think happens once they approach you, that if you don't do it, well, okay, I understand. I understand you seem to be a principled guy and all that, but we can make it hard for you, you know what I'm saying? So that particular endeavor you were working on, and they give you all the details, you trying to figure out how they know all that, we'll make sure they don't go nowhere. We're gonna make your life hard. I still ain't gonna do it. Life been hard. That ain't nothing new. But I'm not set up. And then the way my conscience is set up now, like my conscience tells me if I'm faking the phone, everybody else be able to tell. Even if they can or not, that's what my conscience gonna tell me. I'm not good at lying no more. Maybe that's part of the reason why, because I just tell you the truth, not, maliciously or anything. I don't feel like remembering all that stuff. I don't feel like perpetrating no fraud. Ain't no future in front. I just tell people the truth. And be done with it. You know what I mean? But going through a whole playing a role in an act that's not really genuine, or somebody else making me do it, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Just like I said, I don't believe in getting extorted. How about you just do what you plan on doing anyway and let the chips fall they may? But I'm not, like, when I get by myself, my conscience is gonna wear my brain out. Like, oh man, them people making you do that. Woo-da-woo-da-woo. You know what I'm saying? You old sucker, you know what I mean? And then you crossing your mind out, all that yin-yang you talk, you ain't about none of that. Because as soon as they brought it to you, you folded up instantly. You know what I'm saying? But I think we should, I think this is going to be a vital tactic. And I think maybe, quote-unquote, chosen, depending on, just wherever you're at as far as your awakening. I'm pretty sure you've been X'd out. And I ain't even talking about just, they slept with your woman or something like that, even though that might be part of it. But I'm talking about, like, they might have really attempted to destroy you to the point where you were so blown away, like, and then you check, like, yo, what did I do for Cuz to do that, yo? I remember that one time he was hungry, I just, I wasn't even thinking about it. That's my mind. I just gave him some food. You know what I'm saying? I ain't counting. I ain't thinking, you know what I mean? What is man's in them for? But to the length and level that they will seek to destroy you, be like, yo, you thinking, yo, did they ever have any love for me? Yo, were they acting the whole time? You know what I'm saying? Then you start checking yourself like, yo, did I do something wrong? Or, and I think that's kind of one of the catalysts that kind of pushes, us of a certain ilk, which is actually to our benefit, because at the very least, we're not mentally wrapped up in the matrix. But now we might be working on certain things or praying, to maybe be physically removed, because most of this stuff out here repulse us. But that was actually a blessing. Had them people not betrayed you, you might not be as awakened as you are now. They say true wisdom is actually birthed out of pain and suffering. And if that's the case, I'd be the leading prophet. That's all I know. But by the same token, after a period of time, it did make me better. And I might still feel the anguish of whatever the case may be, but I've never, that I know of, extended that on anybody else. Like, let's say I get cheated on, and then she, tried to destroy my name and telling all these wild stories and got people believing it. When I interact with the next woman, not even romantic, or just interaction with her, I'm not putting what that woman did to me on her. You see what I'm saying? Or just making, kind of these wild type of statements. Oh, you woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know that woman. I tend to try to compartmentalize stuff as best I can. Or even with my experiences, just like I said, being betrayed, I'm still keep my eyes peeled and my head on a swivel for opportunity to work with like-minded brothers, and not just from the aspect of, okay, they like-minded, let me see what I can get out of them. I'm looking to be of benefit to them. You see what I'm saying? In whatever shape, form, or fashion that may take. Any benefit should come organically and by default. Now, of course, if we, set out to do some type of business venture, we'll hammer all that out and discuss that. But just interpersonally, it should be mutually beneficial. I should learn from you, you should learn from me. You know what I'm saying? Or you strong here, you know what I'm saying? I pick up skills that way, or a certain attribute or whatever. And then you might see something in me, and like, people say I'm I'm a serious dude, don't get it twisted. But my life track has taught me how to be more lighthearted and humorous. So people say I got a good energy, or people have told me I have a calming factor. I never thought that was a skill I needed, but if people, around you and they feel calm, that's a good thing. Just like when I used to drink and all that. Like, I might be going through hell, but I'm not going up to the bar to, put that on other folk. I'm going in the bar to get drunk, play music, and forget and have a good time. And enjoy the folk around me. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know of any other culture. I know of Benedict Arnold and them, but I don't know of any other culture that has rampant Judases in it. Even to the point where it's to the point where now, like, people X you out, and when you see them, you kind of take them back, because they feel good about it. Like, they chest stuck out, they're proud. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But there had to be some type of incentive for them to do so. If nothing else other than just the darkness of their heart. Like, if I did certain, and I have, not maybe to the betrayal point, but like, I might have got over on a female or something like that. Once I sobered up, I'm like, man, I shouldn't have hurt them people like that, yo. Now I gotta go get drunk some more. You know what I'm saying? So I broke that whole looping cycle. But it's just, like, that's why I'm real leery of these social grouping. And I'll tie it back to the whole, land initiative thingy, with UP Farms, from just what plays out on social media. Somebody in this is the Judas, if not multiple people. Because I just refuse to believe that all of a sudden all this is coming out now as things are starting to attempt to be getting done. You see what I'm saying? It's very timely. Somebody got to be the Judas. Like I said this about Ringo, like, from the 180 he's done, I'm not surprised if he got some email, phone call, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or people play like, you might fool with them, but then you don't have no problem Xing them out for your own upward mobility. Again, we'll talk about, how this society is falling apart and crumbling and so on and so forth. But then it seems as though people are still jockeying for a piece of the pie in it. It just doesn't make any sense. Not to me, no way. Just like I heard here's one of the best Judases ever. Jigga Man, Jay-Z. I heard a video in which I guess Dame Dash is in, he got hit with a super duper lawsuit. So he's got to sell a third of his Rockefeller share to cover the debt that has just been levied on them, right? But guess what Jigga Man do? So I guess it's supposed to go to auction. He gonna try to get the most he can out of it, right? Which would be something he would want to hold on to, being that, it's something he built. You know what I mean? It holds sentimental value. It was his catalyst for getting in the industry and doing various other things like clothing and branding and so on and so forth, right? But, so I guess it was set to go to auction. Now, Jigga Man, who you had numerous experiences with and had a falling out with, out of nowhere comes out and says right before the auction that whoever buys it, because I guess how, I don't know, publishing works or copyrights or whatever, because I think that album is 30 years old. So I think copyright law says that it goes back to the original owner in 35 years. So Jigga Man puts out that whoever buys it, you're only going to have for 5 years, and then I get it straight back. Basically baller blocking what his former partner had to do to sell it so that he's still in a bond. Like, why would you do that? Even if you know that, which of course he does, why would you make that public unless you're just attempting to hurt someone you've already hurt? You already done foul based on what everyone says who was a part of that organization. And then you still kicking the man when he down, and you know what I'm saying? And feel good about it. Like it makes you wonder, did he ever have no love for this man? Do these people ever have any true, genuine love in their heart to begin with in the first place, let alone towards you? And that goes back to it takes a dark person, a dark person to act out. Now, somebody you don't know, it'll make it easy. But somebody you spent time with, you broke bread with, you know what I'm saying? Your family's been around, personal aspects of their life. To go through those lines, your soul has to be completely into the abyss. You know what I mean? Especially to the point where you continue to do it and got a smile on your face and it don't look like no act. Man, it's real in the battlefield, Jack. No diggity, no doubt. Woo-wee. But I think, as Yeshua said, you will get betrayed. You know what I'm saying? You will probably go through seasons of extreme angst. Man, depending on where I start counting from, I was out of commission. I was in free society and was out of commission for over a decade. Everything I tried didn't work. And when I made a mistake, I slid down the mountain. And the Most High had showed some grace to try it again. Here's another thing I noticed, right? With me, I've gotten an extreme amount of grace. But by the same token, I guess to level it out, I've had to walk a harder road than everybody else. But the road actually created and forged things in me that I didn't even know I needed. You know what I'm saying? Like I use the analogy of walking uphill. It'll tire you out, you know what I'm saying? But you don't realize it's actually making you stronger and increasing your endurance. So when you get on level ground with people who haven't been walking uphill, you just fly around them and it look graceful. I guess all things work for those who love y'all and are called according to his purpose. And on that note, I'm going to holler at y'all. Ooh, ah.